When you are spelling a word that ends with a, spell it with an A. So think of words like America, China, Panda, Santa, Nebraska, Alicia, Dakota, Montana, Nevada. All of these words, they end with an A. And it happens everywhere. There's so many names that end with an A too. Let me see if there's anybody in our class right now whose name ends with an A. How about like Patricia, Dakota, Magnolia? You're probably thinking of some friends right now who are like, oh yeah. Oh, good, Ben. Yeah, Alexa. Yeah. You might be thinking of, like, there's lots of states and countries that end with Canada, Australia. So if it ends with an you're not going to spell it with a U. You probably already know that U says but what you might not know, except for a couple in here that have already learned this, so that's amazing, is that A is how you spell that sound if it's the very last sound of the word. So if that's the last sound of the word, spell it with an A and you'll be golden. Be so good. So we're going to spell that now. And we're going to include some of the rules that we learned last time too. So last time we learned that A says A if one of the next two letters is another vowel. But if not, it says A for now, until I teach you some new spelling rules. So when you come to an A and you're wondering what it says, if there's a vowel in the next one or two spots, it'll say A. If there's not a vowel in the next one or two spots, it'll say A. If it's the very last letter, it'll say ah. So you're only 2 classes into this spelling class and you've already learned 3 sounds for A. When it says A, when it says A, when it says That's a lot more than a lot of people know. That's a lot more than most people know. So good job for knowing so much already so soon. Oh yeah, Lana, banana. Yeah, Sabra. Yeah, I'm getting some words in the class, in the chat here that end with that are spelled with an A. Okay, let me share my screen and we will get spelling. If you have your pen and paper there, this is what we can do together. So the first word we're going to spell together is take-a. Take-a. Now, before you spell, I want to set you up for success. So here's the trick for knowing how to spell the k sound. You're always going to use a C in this class until I tell you different. Because k can be spelled with a C, a K, or a CK. But there's ways you can know which spelling to use. So for now, always spell it with a C. So whenever you hear k in this word, spell it with a C. Okay? And you'll get it right. Because I'm going to tell you when to use a K and when to use a CK, but that's its own lesson in a whole nother day. So for today, we're going to use the most common spelling for k, which is a C. So like in this word, take-a, we're going to use a C. So the first thing we do is we separate the sounds, right? So a line for each sound. We have t, a, k, a. Then we dot the vowel sounds, a and a. Now we spell the consonants. Consonants are t, a, and here's that k sound that I'm going to spell with a C. I'm not going to use a K. K isn't used very often. We don't use K hardly ever. Only 3 out of 26 times do we use a K. So most of the time it's going to be a C. If you have to guess, you put a C there for the k sound. All right, spelling our vowels. We always spell our vowels last because vowels have so many different spellings that you have to know what the letters are around it to know which spelling to use. Like for this A could be spelled with an A. It could be spelled with an AI. It could be spelled with an AY. But, so how are you supposed to know which one of these to use right here? Here's how you'll know. You're always going to use the single vowel first if it will work. And you will know it will work if there's another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots, which there is right there because we dotted it. So if a single letter will work, we use it. Stop, we're done. You don't need the AI, you don't need the AY. We're going to learn about this very soon and this very soon. You're going to know when to use those. But the rule is if you can use just a single letter, you don't need two. Don't put two. One is our first go-to try. And this A can say A here because there's a vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. And here we learned that the sound at the end, which our spelling hack for the day, is always spelled with an A. And by the way, you know how this line means long? And this line means, so this means long, this means short. This is called a macron. This is called a breve. So like a long A would say a short A would say a. This is the symbol for the sounds. Did you know that this is the symbol for a? That's called a schwa sound. This a sound is called a schwa sound because a lot of letters can say a. So they call that sound schwa. And this is the symbol. It's an upside down E. Practice writing it. You go back, down, whoops, back, down, up, and around. 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 That is the symbol for the schwa sound. The schwa sound is And that's what A changes to. It changes to that sound, the schwa sound, when it's at the end of the word like that. So let's try yours without me. Your word is peta. Peta. I'm going to separate the sounds with you. Make sure that you have the same number of lines as me, and then you can spell the rest. Peta. Peta. Go ahead and put it in the chat if you want, so I can see how you spelled it. You don't have to, just if you want. Good. So we're spelling our consonants first. We have p, a, t, a. Now for the A sound, we're going to start with just a simple old A. Can it say A here? Yes, it can, because there's a vowel 1 or 2 doors away, right there. And when that happens, when there's a vowel either here or here, that guy gets to say its name. So that's how you spell the A sound, right there. And then for the at the end, you always spell it with an A. Back, down, up, and around. That's the schwa sound. Peta. Peta. How many of you tried to do this symbol on your paper just now? Let me know in the chat. Did you make a schwa symbol? Did you get it? Back, down, up, and around? Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. So you now know something, another thing that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know what schwa even is. They might have heard that word somewhere, but now you know that schwa is the name of a sound, and the sound is It sounds like a short U. It's a really lazy sound, so you don't drop your jaw at all. It's not aw. You just let it hang there. Try to let your jaw just hang there without using any muscles at all. And then your tongue just kind of hangs out there in the middle too. Don't let it do anything. Just let it sit there without using any muscles, and then make your vocal cords work and produce a sound. It's the laziest sound that you could possibly make. So imagine like you're in bed asleep and your mom or your dad is waking you up, and you're so tired, all you can muster is to say, It's the laziest sound you can make. That's the sound of schwa. No muscles are used, no jaw, no tongue, nothing. And this is how you spell that word. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Let me share my screen. This is how you spell that word. It's kind of a funky spelling, isn't it? But let's just focus on the sound, not the spelling of that word. As long as we know that it says we're golden. All right, I want you to now practice spelling the word slander. Slander. So let's do this one together. Separating the sounds. S, l, a, n, d, a. Consonants. S, l, a, n, d, a. Vowels. This A can say a here just fine because the next two letters are consonants. If there's not a vowel here or here, the A will say a. And A is the only letter that spells that sound. So if you hear a, put an A there. Just make sure that there's two consonants after it. And then at the end is spelled with an A. There's slander. Okay, your word I want you to try is branda. Branda. Try it. Go ahead. Make sure that your lines match mine. Branda. Good. Good, good. So our consonants are b, saving our vowels to the end, n, d, a. For the a sound, we start with an A. Can A say a here? Yes, it can, because the next two letters are consonants. For the sound, we're not going to put a U. First of all, U's don't go at the end of words. We don't spell words with U at the end. If you hear a, you spell it with an A. If you hear a, you spell it with an A. Yeah. Okay, next word. Play sappa. Play sappa. Do this one with me. So the sounds are p, l, a, s. Wait, p, a, s, a, p, a. P, l, a, s, a, p, a. 3 vowels not touching. That means it's a 3-syllable word. Consonants. P, l, a, s, a, p. Vowels. Now, you probably know how to spell play. Like this. Do you see how that has an AY in it? We don't need an AY here. This AY is for this word, not for this one. Okay, we're not going to put a Y in the middle of that word because you don't need to. All you need for the A sound is a plain old A if there's a vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. Okay, you don't need a Y. Just a plain old A will work just fine. Now, this word is a little bit tricky, so let's go nice and slow on this. I want this sound to be a. I always start that sound with an A for the spelling. Can A say a here? It can't, because there's a vowel 1 or 2 doors away. If that happens, it has to say A, and I want it to say a. So what do I have to do? Make sure that there's 2 consonants after it. If there's not 2, make 2. Now it can say a. So see, this one says A because there's a vowel 1 or 2 doors down. This one says a because there's not a vowel 1 or 2 doors down. And then the sound at the end is spelled with an A. This is play sappa. Play sappa. Okay, now your word is glaymata. Glaymata. Let's do that one together. I mean, on your own. I'm just going to separate the sounds with you. I want you to go ahead and try that one. And then put it in the chat for me. Glaymata. Good. Glaymata. And my mouth is closed in the middle for that M. Glamata. Now, do you think well, I would like for you to put your guess or your word in the chat, in the Q&A. Let me see what you got. Glamata. Beautiful. Yeah. So we're going to go really slow on this one. We're going to do consonants first. We have G, L, skipping our vowel. A, M, A, skipping that vowel. And then going to the T, and then we have all we have is vowels left. So for this A sound, do you think I'm going to use an AY or just a plain old A to spell A there? Well, as long as there's a vowel in the next one or two spots, I can use that guy. AY is saved for the end of words, by the way, but you're going to learn that in another lesson. So all you need is a regular A right here, and it will say A just fine, because there's a vowel one or two doors away. Now for this A sound, I'm going to start by spelling it with an A. I want it to say A, which means there can't be a vowel one or two doors down, and there's one right there. So in order for that to say A, it has to have two consonants after it. If there's not two, make two. Now that A can say A because there's not a vowel in the next one or two spots. A will say A if one of the next two letters is a vowel. It'll say A if there's not a vowel right there or right there. And then for the sound at the end, we spell it with a A. Glamata. How did you do on glamata? Let me look here. That was a hard one, huh? Let's end on a good. Let's end on a little bit of an easier one. I want you to spell the word no, let's do this one. Oh, man, we're almost out of time. Almost out of time. Prana. Prana. Let's do this one together. P-R-A-N-A. Consonants. P-R-A-N-A. Do you want to finish it? Take a few seconds and finish it, and then I'll tell you what the answer was. Prana. Prana. Nice. Okay, so for the A sound, even though you probably know how to spell the word pray, you don't need that AY. All you need is an A right there because there's a vowel in the next one or two spots. And then at the end is spelled with an A. There's prana. Prana. Now, I hope you're feeling smart because you have learned a lot of pretty cool things today. You learned that A says A if one of the next two letters is another vowel, or it says A if there's not, if the next two letters are consonants. It says A. And you learned that when you hear at the end of a word, you spell it with an A, like Santa, panda, America, Lana. If you hear at the end, it's spelled with an A. And don't worry about thinking, well, we're going to practice that a lot. We're going to have a lot of practice over the next several weeks on all of these things. So, because when you first learn it, it's kind of hard to remember everything all at once, right? But don't worry, we're going to practice and practice and practice and repeat and repeat and repeat until it becomes easy for you. How does that sound? All right, my friends, you are amazing. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow in the practicum class. If you don't know what that is, ask your mom because I want to see your little faces. Until then, have a great night. See you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.